Hello, everyone. Welcome again. This is day 2 of round 1 of the Red versus Blue Cyber League 2022 Invitational. I'm your host, Clint Bodungen, and with me is my co-host, Gerald Ozier. What's up, Jerry?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Super pumped for day 2 activities. Loved yesterday, and if yesterday was any indication of what's going to go down today, you guys are in for a wicked good treat.
Yep. So today, and then let's just take a quick look. Let me see if I can do this gracefully because I have not been, but there we go. Woo, I got it. So yesterday we had Jerry beating Stacy in the afternoon. Jerry beating Jax in the afternoon, advancing to round 2. Stacy defeated David Meese, advancing to round 2. So they will play each other tomorrow. We'll make that time announcement later. Today, however, we have this morning, Eric Taylor versus Josh Mason. Jerry, I know you got some things to say about this one.
Oh my God, yeah, heck yeah. I know Eric and Josh both really well. I have competed against both of them. I have lost to Eric Taylor. Very strong competitors. Eric actually is classically trained and has operationalized red team operations, but he owns and runs his own blue team company, so he has deep knowledge on both sides of the house. Josh Mason, very talented red teamer, but he will be playing as the blue team today, so I'm actually kind of curious to see how that shakes out, where he's leaning into more of his weakness than his strength. Will Eric be able to capitalize on that? I'm definitely interested to see where this goes.
Yeah, we definitely have a bit of a reversal of roles here, so that's why I'm really, really interested to see how this one goes. So on that note, I think that there we go. Still getting used to this. There we go.
Eric's got his hype music going.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, you're sharing your screen right now.
There we go. I'm still getting used to these controls, so we can see Eric there, and Josh has his screen up and ready to go and hosting. So we're just going to wait for these guys to get ready. I think at this point, while you go ahead and tell them that we're ready, I'm going to go ahead and throw up our notification or our acknowledgement to our sponsors real quick. And there we go. Thank you to our sponsors, Barricade Cyber Solutions and Simply Cyber. We don't have to mention the third one because it's obvious. Jerry had a good stream this morning on his daily cyber briefing.
Yeah, ran the daily cyber threat briefing over on Simply Cyber. Also rebroadcasting this feed onto the Simply Cyber. So shout out and love to all the folks over in the Simply Cyber community who have joined us today. I hope you're expecting a treat, because that's what we're going to be delivering to you right now. Now, I will tell you, I spoke to the competitors before the match today to get some insight into their techniques. Josh is going to be going with a more, I would call, traditional approach. And Eric is actually, as the red teamer, he has done the aggro run, the HMI cheese runs to go. But he, after watching my stream yesterday and discussing, does like the idea of kind of the stealthy, low and slow, get in, plant some assets, get out before you get arrested, and, basically get some footholds into the organization and then begin looking around for those critical assets. I think if I had to guess, I'm going to say that Eric will attempt a P&L win, but will have that HMI destruction in his back pocket if it gets close to the 0 hour.
Real quick, I think that they might be having a quick technical issue. Yeah, real quick. I know what that is. Real quick, I'm going to go out of the stream. I'm going to go fix that real quick.
All right, well, I will go full stream, full screen. Boom, guys. All right, so while Clint resolves that issue, I just want to welcome all of you. If you are just catching the stream and you don't know what, you're like, who is this guy? What are we doing here? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Gerald Ogier. I am the CISO and Director of Cybersecurity Education at ThreatGEN. And ThreatGEN's Red versus Blue is the cybersecurity simulation platform that we will be utilizing to run this entire tournament. You will watch it today as Eric Taylor pilots the red team operations and Josh Mason builds an information security program on the blue side in order to defend from those attacks. The platform is awesome. It literally simulates real life. So if you're on the red side, you have to execute that cyber kill chain. You've got to do the recon. Whether you go on site or you're remote, you've got to do reconnaissance. You've got to figure out what you're going to attack and what it looks like. Do that kind of initial exploitation, get a foothold into the organization. Again, it could be a USB drop in the parking lot and Carl plugs it into a computer. It could be hitting from the internet, the way that your audio's on. Okay, we'll just cut Clint's audio off as well. Or it could be, remotely from the internet, from anywhere on the internet, and blasting through that gateway firewall, right? Maybe a social engineering email gets somewhere in the internal guts of the organization. That is the red team. On the blue side, Josh is going to start with like a ton of assets, but very little protection. So he'll have to put gateway firewalls in place, develop policies and procedures, put in video surveillance if he's interested and concerned about physical security. But guys, just like real life, and this is why it's a simulator, just like real life, Josh is going to be hamstrung by a limit of resources and a limit of cash money. I can't play my sound effects today, but trust me, straight cash, homie, it's going to be a problem. He'll, depending on the size of his organization, it takes multiple days to develop policies and procedures. You need staff to interview the business and actually build out those policies and procedures. So while they're identified and locked in to doing that activity, they aren't rolling out EDR. They aren't changing default creds on external facing internet devices. So that's really where the challenge becomes. I'd almost say that it is a challenge between Josh versus himself and the resources at hand versus Josh versus Eric. I have both streams up on the feed. If you're interested, obviously here on the channel, we'll be flipping back and forth between Eric's feed and Josh's feed so you can see both sides of the match. But both competitors are live streaming their side of it. I can see him right now. Eric Taylor must have some music on. I've got it on mute, but he is dancing. Jack Scott is in chat over there getting wicked amped up. Josh Mason's running his Run CMD hat. Both competitors branding their Red versus Blue Cyber League competitive jersey. I've got mine on. Jerry guy, right? I did win my first round yesterday, so I'll be competing against Stacy Loki in round 2 tomorrow. I can't wait for that. So let me know in chat, guys. Where are you coming from? Let me look at chat right now. Hey, Nudist, brand new to the Simply Cyber community. Who knew that today was the day, Nudist, that we were going to be ripping it all apart and giving you a full day of content and education. Thanks for the nice shirt comment, Anna Lynn. Appreciate that. Nathan Boland's asking, who's on red? Eric Taylor is red. The man owns an incident response firm. He deals with ransomware threat actors all day, every day. Don't envy him for that, because that is a stressful job. But you know what? He's so close to them. I guarantee you he fully understands how they operate and how he can operate like them too. Jack Scott pointing out the different organizations. So there's 3 maps currently in red versus blue. They are all IT infrastructure with OT, operational technology components to it. And really the key difference between the 3 is just the sheer size of the environment and the number of assets. Jack Scott, we do choose random. Jack Scott got the largest organization on her match with me yesterday, which was to my advantage as the red team operator. Jax only had those 3 resources, very limited budget, and she was definitely pushed to the max with trying to secure all of them. Think of the little Dutch boy in the water, the dam wall, where you could stick your thumbs in and block all that. She didn't have enough thumbs, so that's the deal. All right, guys, I think we're going to be getting ready to start the match, so let's go ahead and dive in.
Here we go. Yeah, so Eric Taylor was cordoned off on the beta testing account.
That'll do it. So it looks like Josh is starting with some basic moves here.
Nope, he already passed his turn. I didn't catch that. Okay. Yeah, they're just getting started with every match. It's like a chess match, right? Everybody kind of has their opening moves. Everybody has their. We're gonna call this. I'm gonna call this I think the standard blue team setup is the.
Mm-hmm. Let me just call something out.
Gambit.
Something really quick. I did this yesterday in my match, and I hope it works out for Eric too. First turn, first move, recruit hackers. Guys, you start off with 5 assets, right? And you recruit hackers, you can get 2 more. The sooner you get those 2, you can start operationalize them, and you have more resources over the course of the entire game. So it's very important. It can fail though. If you don't have enough street cred, who wants to join your hacker crew, right?
Yep, exactly. But yeah, it's becoming a new strategy that I'm noticing, and it doesn't always work, but when it does, yeah, it's a huge advantage, especially since it takes 3 turns to get that. So if you start off early and get that early, you start off with that advantage pretty good. I think he already passed his turn.
Yeah, his resources are all locked up. Same with Josh. You could see at the top there where it said 0 of 3. He couldn't, you know what I mean? He can't do anything. His resources are locked up. Executing, like you said, on that opening chess move.
Yep.
Okay, he's really pushing electronic SE, Clint. What do you think? He's prepping for an on-site?
No, electronic social engineering. He's prepping for spear phishing or some sort of campaign. I'm curious as to why Eric's feed is not full screen, but that's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. It is.
Yeah, and so is Josh. I think Josh is playing on a Mac. He needs to hit the minus key.
Okay, I'll let him know. Let me know if he gets those hackers too.
Yeah, he got it. He got those extra.
That's going to
make
such a huge difference. That's such a huge advantage. Like, we're talking about how the blue team is already hamstrung with only 3 resources. Now the hacking squad, they get almost a 40% bump in resources. It's an unbelievable advantage that he can take advantage of almost immediately. I love it.
There we go. He hit it. He adjusted his resolution,
Yep.
so that's awesome.
I'm just telling Eric about his black border.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. We can still see
right.
what's going on, but
Okay, all right. Hey, so who do you guys have in? All right, so chat. Who's gonna win today? Let's get your initial feeds. Is anyone strong on Eric, strong on Josh, or do you think it's kind of a split down the middle? I want to hear it in chat. Let me know. All right, Josh is segmenting the network right away. Oh my God, he's got a spear phishing attack and watering hole attack.
yeah, and he's got that electronic social engineering pumped up too. And he's going all social engineering here, it looks like.
I love it. This is a little bit different than what we talked about, but it doesn't matter. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Charles
and
Finfrock.
notice it looks like Josh is not expecting Eric to go on site. He's not preparing for a physical attack. Josh is not putting up physical defenses, and he made the right call. He guessed right.
So it looks like Eric has successfully compromised one of Josh's machines already.
That's a quick spearfish or a fishing campaign. Looks like it's a campaign.
Yeah, he is running a campaign. Well, he's doing
watering
both,
hole.
Actually. He's doing a watering hole and a spearfishing attack, although I don't think his spearfishing attack has resolved yet.
It has not.
All right. He was successful with his spearfishing attack and compromising an asset. Wow.
I don't see the other asset, though.
Yeah, neither do I. I'm not sure.
It might have hit the same asset. Either it hit the same asset or it hit a remote user, and the remote user has subsequently logged off.
Okay, so he did install disruptive malware, which is going to affect the P&L. So Josh, like we talked about this yesterday, if you want to be stealthy and quiet, you cannot affect the P&L, and installing disruptive malware will affect P&L. And just so you guys, just so you know, if you know, looking at the blue screen right now, that rainbow bar at the top middle of the screen is your profit and loss meter. You see how the little blue mark is already a little to the left? This is an indicator that you've got some malicious activity in your environment.
So I think Eric is using a technique that he and I talked about yesterday, which was get in, affect P&L immediately with exfiltrating data and disruptive malware, but don't alert them to where you are by locking it up with ransomware immediately. And then what that does is you're affecting their profit and loss meter, but they don't know exactly where you are. You're not tipping them off to where you are. It's a little bit stealthier version of doing P&L.
Well, let me ask you this, Clint. Eric is maxing out his electronic SE. He's spear fishing. He is doing, watering hole techniques. He's really maxing it out. What actions could Josh take if he knew that this is the TTPs of his adversary? What would most help Josh?
Two-factor authentication, and security awareness training are the two biggest things.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, so he's continuing to pump that SE. He's now working on weak passwords. I think it's because he's pilfered data. He wants to do password attacks. I don't know, man. Eric, I will say this. Eric has been very impressive in his runs that we have had on the channel. I've been very impressed with him. So Josh is going to have his hands full today.
Yeah, and I mean, Eric has proven to be a multi-pronged threat. I mean, even though he is a blue teamer, by trade, the fact that he does DFIR means that he does have red team thought patterns and methodologies and skills down. So, but he has not relied on any one single strategy. He's using a multitude of approaches. And ever since that we nerfed the HMI cheese strategy, that strategy being where you go physically on site looking for HMIs, we made that more difficult. So it's forcing players to have to use a different sort of strategy or a different set of strategies.
Yeah, it really is. And
they are moving fast.
I will say that I believe Eric Taylor was trained as a pen tester. He is a Marine. He was a Marine. And
he is a Marine.
He is a Marine. I do know that he has been trained in and has done professional pen testing. So it looks like he's got 2 assets at this point, Clint. He's running another email phishing campaign with that electronic SE maxed out.
He's gonna go hit those with disruptive malware, most likely. Do data exfiltration is most likely what he's going to be doing there. Josh obviously does not know he's there because he hasn't started deploying his EDR yet on the appropriate machines. He does. Yeah, he's got his SIM. Oops.
Yep. Oh, hold on. Oh, he has a SIM. Yeah. So I've asked Josh to show his action log too from time to time so we can get a little bit of a some visibility. Oh, wow. All right. So he's moving quick.
Yeah, so he ended his campaign, and that's good because after a while, your campaign does start to have diminishing returns.
Yeah. I'm looking. Oh man, he's about to install ransomware. So I looked at Josh Mason. He's actually requested budget, and he successfully implemented 2FA. So like you said earlier, Clint, this should help protect him a little bit from Eric's electronic social engineering attacks.
Yep. And at some point, you're going to start to see, all the social engineering stuff stopped working. So what Eric needs to do is, I don't think that he's researched persistence. He needs to immediately start covering his tracks on those devices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Because once Josh finds him and starts rooting him out, once the blue team starts rooting you out, it gets very difficult to go for a P&L victory. So he needs to start covering up immediately.
So I don't know. Josh has just completed his security awareness training. Flip over to blue. Josh has just requested budget and been granted budget, and he's completed security awareness training. So hopefully there's no stream sniping going on, but literally 2FA and security awareness were the two things that you had mentioned as most important. And and Josh actually just implemented them. So good on Josh. He is approaching this pragmatically. So it's probably just a coincidence, but
yeah, no, I think so. I think,
oh boy, he's about to activate ransomware on this thing.
Oh, don't do it yet. No, see, I really think that he doesn't have enough assets yet secured to go for a P&L victory. To activate ransomware now would be a mistake. He needs to get more high value assets, and he needs to really cover up. Okay, he's got a third one. So he's got a third one.
But he doesn't have the option to cover tracks because he doesn't have persistence, correct?
He did not research persistence, correct? So he needs to research persistence to cover. If he wants to go for a P&L victory, he needs to hold on to those assets while it continues to move laterally and gain more assets. He's got another one.
He's got another asset. Wow.
Oh, game over. This could be game over. This could be game over.
Eric's playing it cool. All right, he's excited. All right,
he's got access to, what is it? Go ahead.
Eric's like flexing for the camera. Here he goes. He needs his assets though. He's running a campaign right now. He doesn't have enough assets to
needs to damage that ICS. And Josh has no clue he's there. This could be bad for Josh. This could be the end. Game. And this could be the end. This is classic Eric Taylor. I mean,
campaign ended. He's got his resources back. All 7 available. Here he goes. Oh my god.
Could this be a sub 20 turn win?
Oh my god. Look at it. He's like down.
Oh my god.
Wow. Josh Mason just got eviscerated. Oh.
Wow. 20 turn win.
Oh my god.
Oh, Eric he's pumped. He's going off. He's dancing. Oh my goodness.
Wow. 20 turn win. That's a record for the tournament. That is a record for the tournament.
Man. And then mistake Josh made was not getting two-factor authentication and security awareness training in early. And he didn't get he didn't need USB security. Sorry. He didn't get his social engineering defenses in early enough. That's exactly where Eric Taylor went. It was a perfect approach. Wow.
Well executed. And I will say it wasn't a lucky strike either. I mean, he had multiple assets. He was iterating over it. Look at his metrics though. Watering hole, 1 for 1, 100%. Social media, 1 for 1, 100%. Spear phishing, 2 out of 3. I mean, the random number gods were with him, although it certainly helped that he researched the crap out of electronic social engineering.
Yeah, his strategy was clear. There's no question as to what his strategy was, and it worked like a charm. This was obliteration. All right.
Well done to our competitors.
Wow, man, that Man, this means
I'm
I can
telling
go
you
take
what,
an
dude.
early lunch.
So I'll tell you what. I mean, I'm a competitor in this tournament, but I have my concerns that Eric is the favorite. I called
The
this.
favorite. What do you mean? Is you have concerns?
Listen, I said it when the drawing happened that Josh was in the group of death. And I meant it. I meant it. Eric doesn't pull punches. He eviscerates. He is without prejudice. Everybody is getting eviscerated. Let's bring him on.
Yep, let's go.
Hey guys.
Hey Josh, what's up, man?
I
You
mean,
need to go back and watch Eric's stream.
I mean,
Relentless E!
Ruthless E is a bad man.
Yeah, so
You just do
wow.
social engineering attack after social engineering attack?
That's one tactic, yes.
Yeah, so real quick, look, before we talk about Eric's devastating strategy, Josh, real quick, I mean, because you were following a solid approach. It looks like your standard, putting out your Josh's Gambit security there, and you were just a little bit late getting two-factor authentication, and I don't think you got a chance to get the security awareness in to defend against the social engineering. So what was your strategy?
I had both those in like round 5.
You got security awareness and
I got security awareness
authentication probably around turn 14.
Yeah.
It was a little bit later because you had requested budget before that happened, and at that point Eric had already compromised 3 of your assets. He was
interesting.
Yeah, he was.
Man, you're fast.
He was tearing apart your infrastructure. It was not good.
Yeah, it was apparent. He immediately went in with the goal of social engineering because he was getting that electronic social engineering skill up fast. So so let's talk about that.
You really hone in on one thing.
Oh yeah, Eric, what was your strategy going in? And I mean, I don't, we don't have to ask. Obviously, social engineering was your primary strategy. Going with that electronic social engineering research skill right off the bat, and then starting your campaigns and your spear phishing. Talk a little bit about what you were doing.
Yeah, so I figured, I couldn't do the Roadrunner technique like I did against Matt Lee because Josh probably already saw that. Doing a little OSINTing on Josh's LinkedIn. I'm like, okay, he's going to come in kind of like I do, real strong on the physical security to some layer. So the only thing I really had for ThreatGEN's Red versus Blue game is really go through social engineering to some degree. And that's really what it was, right? So, this is kind of, I said it in my stream, right? That when TTPs, or when you're looking at threat actors and TTPs, you got to know your adversary and you got to know who your victim is that you're going after. Granted, a lot of companies leave RDP, aka ransomware deployment model or protocol enabled, but if you've got somebody who's actually trying to get into you, like a SolarWinds or a Kaseya or whatever, they're going to study you a little bit. So, I was going to try to do the Greg's Wild Ride on this one, but I was like, I don't think that tactic is going to work on him.
You were pulling passwords and getting ready to do password attacks and stuff like that. Definitely.
That was going to be my Hail Mary. If I was not able to get emails phishing anymore, I was already harvesting the credentials. I was setting myself up to start popping boxes if I couldn't get further into the environment.
Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
Josh, what was your strategy, Josh? And did you pivot at any point? It didn't look like you ever really knew that you were in trouble.
No, I didn't have my detection response up at all early enough. So it's always interesting to me, Greenfield, trying to figure out like what's the best strategy to get yourself like a layer of security vice. What's like the prescribed methodologies that everyone drives to. The gamification does definitely make that interesting, knowing that like when you're starting, someone else is starting their attack at the exact same time. So it's interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting metagame to this in that, we're all able to watch each other's streams, right? And so, Eric may use one strategy against you, now that strategy may be burned in round 2 because that's the live threat intelligence metagame here because Jerry and Stacy and Eric, they all have strategies that they've used, but then maybe the other person's going to say, well, they used that strategy, they're not going to use that against me, and it's reverse psychology. So who knows?
You knew that I knew that I know you know.
I'll just put it out there for people who's coming up against me. I have a strategy built for every last one of my matches coming up. You don't know. Expect the unexpected.
Wow.
Well, I will tell you.
I think it's like Jerry called it. Like, I think Eric might be one of the best prepared for this tournament. So
well, let's check. So the next match coming up is we got Ken Underhill will be facing Matt Lee, Cyber Matt Lee, and then
that'll be today at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central.
Yeah, so that time is wrong. We never corrected the time, so I apologize for that. Hey, but our shoddy production is still pretty good, so give me a break. But so the winner between Ken and Matt will play Eric. So outstanding, man. You've already given your final thoughts there. Look at this, we're all switched around here. You've already there we go, back to where we were. There we go. You've already given your final thoughts on or your final warnings, Eric, on you have a strategy for everything. Josh, what do you think? Do you have any predictions or any advice for the contestants moving forward?
I think Matt's done this before. I think Ken's new to the game. I suggest he go and see how everyone else has played in the past. And develop a strategy that kind of best fits what his competitors have. It seems straightforward, but it's one of those things. I wasn't sure what Eric was going to go with off the bat. So, yeah.
And if you went back at any of my YouTubes, I've never pulled this strategy off before. So
yeah, like barreling in with social media, social engineering is it's unique, but it looked like it worked.
I think it's close to real life. I mean, spear phishing and campaigns, and he was going with the weakest attack vector right off the bat. So, man, quick win, awesome game, awesome match. Any Jerry final thoughts on this one?
No, it was a quick match. Josh is a very knowledgeable cybersecurity professional. So it just shows that, again, just like real life, a threat actor with a very deliberate mission and the tools to execute on that mission can be successful.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of the community is, saying that Eric is the front runner and the favorite. And I think he just placed a massive bid to support that notion in this match. So we'll see what happens tomorrow's round.
Before we go, I just want to say, Josh, good game. I'll tell you what, the fact that you do not do a lot of the streaming of this game really had me nervous coming in. I'm like, man, I wonder what he's going to do.
Oh,
Jeez.
You're OSINT?
There was no OSINT to have.
No OSINT.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, Chad is talking about how Eric has a dossier on all the competitors.
So
not wrong.
So Eric will play the winner of this afternoon's match between Ken Underhill and Matt Lee, and then we'll move into round 2 tomorrow. Jerry will play Stacy Loki, and then I'm going to go ahead here and announce it here right now. We're changing up the meta a little bit for round 2.
Ooh.
Yeah, can you clarify that?
Yeah. So when I say the meta, there's going to be some value. So we're not changing game mechanics, we're not changing code, but there are values that we can change, such as maybe a little extra resource here or there, or maybe there might be maybe some things might be a little easier. I'll give you a hint. One of the and Eric actually gave me this idea.
Great. That's what we need. The guy who's the favorite in the tournament to be suggesting.
No.
Okay.
This was an issue the beta testers brought up too, and that PNL victories are quite difficult to pull off in a short game. And so we're doing something. We're gonna do something that's gonna make P&L victories may be a little easier in that we're making the stealth, researching persistence is going to be a little less expensive, as well as preparing a covert attack. So we're making the stealth aspect a little easier to achieve, which should help out with P&L victories in short games, because one of the biggest problems with P&L victories in short games is that you get rooted out so quickly and you start kicking them out. You don't have time to get back in there. So people haven't been using the stealth aspects of the game that much, and that's really because the cost benefit isn't there. It takes so many turns and so many resources to prepare for your stealth. So we're gonna give stealth a little boost, and there may be another couple of surprises, but I'll make all the announcements before round 2 starts.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
More homework is needed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. So it wasn't helping the guy who's dominating. It was actually in an effort to maybe kind of quell some of his efforts, give some other people some opportunities to do some other strategies.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you can't be red every time. There is potential. Whoever Eric plays has the option to flip a coin to choose which side they are.
Yeah.
Eric could be forced to play the blue side.
So
And my blue game is strong, Jerry.
I know.
Have we
But now
decided
you're just giving
between
someone ideas.
Jerry and Stacy, do we know who's red and blue in that game yet?
It's unconfirmed that I am red and Stacy will be blue. We haven't spoke about it, but I know for a fact she has not played the game at all as the red team. So just, for the sake of the tournament.
I think that game's going to be the morning game, right? Because in the event Ken wins this, he can't play tomorrow morning. So
I believe that's true. I'll confirm that, but yeah. Like those matches will be scheduled later today once we see who wins the Matt Lee Ken Underhill match.
Yep. So cool. All right, everyone. On that note, thanks to our sponsors, Barricade Cyber Solutions, Eric Taylor, and Simply Cyber, Jerry Ozier. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for the audience. It's been great. This has been a great match, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Sounds good.